So how did the rest of the disciples who remained after the time of Jesus, after he had ascended into heaven, how did those disciples die, each one, and what was their background? That is a question which we are going to be answering today on Wednesday on the weekly segments of the Bible question. So let's begin by Simon Peter, or is one who called Cephas. He was a fisherman from Bethsaida. He was the brother of Andrew, and he later became the leader of apostles after Christ had died. And what are the traits of Simon Peter? He was bold, he was impulsive, he denied Christ, but later he became a powerful preacher. So Peter was impulsive, like he did not control his emotions. And how did Simon Peter, or Cephas, die? He was crucified upside down in Rome under Nero, the emperor. Why was Simon Peter crucified upside down? Because he himself requested to be crucified upside down because he felt unworthy to die like his master Jesus. So Jesus had predicted the manner in which John, or Peter, Simon Peter, would die in John chapter 21 verse 18 to 19. You can read that verse for yourself and you can see that Jesus had predicted the manner of Simon Peter's death, and that's how he glorified God using his death. And this was around 66 AD. Then how did Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, or Cephas, how did his brother Andrew die? He was a fisherman. He was a disciple of John the Baptist before following Jesus. And what are the traits of Andrew? He was known for bringing people to Jesus, according to John chapter 1 verse 41 to 42. That's all we know about Andrew. And his death, he was crucified on an X-shaped cross in Greece in a place called Patras. Then let's look at the third person, James the Greater, son of Zebedee. His background, he was the brother of John and was part of Jesus' inner circle. His trait was that fiery, he was passionate, and he was called a son of thunder according to Mark chapter 3 verse 17. And his manner of death was that he was beheaded by King Herod Agrippa I the First, Jerusalem. And this is the only disciple whose death was recorded in the scripture. All the rest come from tradition. So don't ask me how I know. It came from tradition. And his death is recorded in Acts chapter 12 verse 1 to 2. Then we have John, the brother of James, the beloved disciple. Yes, the twin brother of John, the brother of James, the beloved disciples. To his background, he was the youngest disciples of the 12. He is the author of the Gospel of John, Revelation, and 3 episodes. His trait is that he was close to Jesus, he leaned on his chest at the Lord's Supper, and his death, this was the only disciple who died a natural death in old age at Ephesus. He survived being burnt in oil and was exiled to Patmos according to Revelation chapter 1 verse 9. Then the fifth disciple is called Philip. Philip is from Bethsaida. Philip is the one who introduced Nathanael to Jesus according to John chapter 1 verse 45. When Nathanael was skeptical about Jesus, what good could come out of Nazareth? The traits of Philip was that he was logical and questioning, according to John chapter 14 verse 9. So he was either crucified or stoned. That is the man of his death, because I've said all these things come from tradition. So the main reason why Philip died is because he converted a Roman proconsul's wife, and that's why he died for it. Then we have Bartholomew, or Nathanael. The Nathanael who came to see Jesus for being skeptical, he was called Bartholomew. And Bartholomew was thoughtful and honest, and was called by Philip to come and see what good could come out of Nazareth. When Bartholomew or Nathanael came to Jesus, he found that Jesus had no deceit, and he is what had been prophesied by the Old Testament prophecies. And he was flayed alive and beheaded in Armenia or India. We know how Bartholomew died, and probably he was the only black disciple out of the 12 disciples that we have. And he was beheaded in Armenia or India. And the reason he was beheaded is that he preached boldly He preached boldly Christ in hostile lands which did not believe in Jesus. So that's why he died.